Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parent Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today, entitled Mom Completely Loses It on a Starbucks Employee. After that, entitled Stepdad Makes Me Destroy My Turntable and Has Me Sent to a Psychiatric Facility. And after that, This Isn't Your Pizza, Ma'am. Now for every thumbs up this video gets, one Karen doesn't get any Starbucks. How dare you! So please smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. Entitled Mom Completely Loses It on a Starbucks Employee. Cast. We've got me, and we've got my mom. Unfortunately, she's a Karen. And we've got the nice coffee lady. I'm still so sorry. So some background. My mom has always treated service workers really poorly. It's to the point where I won't go to sit-down restaurants with her anymore, and neither will my sister. She especially is unkind to women. However, she's been having self-esteem issues because her new husband used to be married to a younger, super attractive girl, and I don't think she feels good enough for him. She's constantly bringing up his ex-wife, but also gets upset when anyone else brings this woman's name up. It's bizarre. Point being, I've noticed she's been extra rude to young, attractive female service workers. Now, y'all know how it is at Starbucks. They're really friendly and happy-go-lucky workers, at least in my area. I've never met a rude Starbucks barista. So I'm visiting town, and my mom wants to get her daily coffee, and we go to her Starbucks. She won't go elsewhere, by the way. The lady at the front counter is really beautiful, and I just know this isn't going to go well. Worker. Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get started for you? My mom. I want a grande Pike Place with cold soy and cream and a strawberry refresher. Worker. A Pike Place with cold soy and cream? It's a strange order, so I don't blame her for wanting to clarify. My mom. That's what I said. Yes. Can you understand? Worker. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I was getting your order right. Coming right up. Have an awesome day. My mom, in a mocking tone. Have an awesome day, jerk. At this point, I start to apologize for my mom because I'm so embarrassed, and that poor lady did not deserve any of that. The manager has overheard everything, and my mom is told to leave and not come back. Sitting in the car. Me. What the heck is wrong with you? My mom. That lady had a fake tone. I hate when service workers are purposely overly nice and fake. Just like, be a real person. Me. They have to be overly nice, Mom. It's part of their job. If you don't like it, go elsewhere. Mom. Well, I'll just have to train them to be normal. According to my sister, my mom has attempted to go back twice and was told the police would be called if she goes again. Speaking of Starbucks, what's your favorite thing to get at Starbucks? Please let us know. I could go for a coconut frappuccino right now. Entitled Stepdad Makes Me Destroy My Turntable and Has Me Sent to a Psychiatric Facility. Hey everyone, here's a bit of backstory. This story happened when I was 16, about 2 years after my mom married my stepdad. We'll call him Michael. However, there's some essential stuff that is important to this story. I have several minor mental conditions, depression, anxiety, and a few others, but for the most part, I'm okay. However, the one condition I do have that sort of makes things a bit difficult is I have high-functioning autism, which Michael didn't believe was a real thing for some reason. This becomes important later. My mom and Michael got married after only 2 months, and without me even knowing until about a month after it happened when my grandma told me. This guy was a textbook definition of a narcissist and a manipulator. My mom had been divorced many years before she met him, so he used her fear of being alone to force her to stay with his sorry butt. He didn't even have a job due to being disabled from a stroke, which he extorted for every ounce of pity he could. There are many stories I could have posted about that, unfortunately. He never made much of an effort to get closer with me or my older brother, who was about to move out at that time. His philosophy was basically, this is my house now, so stay out of my way. However, with that, he loved to control how everything was done, what I did and when. I wasn't allowed to leave the apartment complex I lived in or hang out/go out with friends because you have no reason to, so drop it. And dating was a major no-go. Something about me that he despised was my love of rock and metal music, anything from Zeppelin to Pantera. He was devoutly religious and believed that kind of music was evil. However, my mom managed to convince him to let me continue listening to it. The turntable that I had in my room was a gift from my grandma a few years prior and was basically my prized possession. He was livid at the fact that I was able to play that filth in what he thought was his house. Eventually, things came to a head when I lied to him about sneaking out to meet a friend at the 7-Eleven about a block from my apartment complex. He was completely livid, probably the most angry I had seen him up until that point. He told me to grab my baseball bat out of my closet and to put the turntables and all my records, about 40 in total, on the floor. He then made me destroy the turntable and all of my records with the bat. I tried protesting this, but he told me if I didn't, he would punish me even worse, so I eventually caved and did as he said. He then took the turntable speakers for God knows what purpose and made me sweep up the broken pieces of vinyl and plastic. After that, I became far more spiteful towards him, as well as spiraling mentally. We had several heated arguments about things I had done to try and get around his strict rules, usually ending up with him egging me on to hit him, if I was man enough. He was a really big dude and rather threatening, despite not being able to use his left arm. Being a scrawny 16-year-old, I obviously didn't have a chance, so I backed down every time to his delight. He would occasionally throw a punch to scare me, but luckily he only got me a few times. My mom would try and stop him, but he would always find some way to talk her down. She didn't have much of a choice in the matter in her mind. Eventually, we got in a heated argument during dinner one night. I'm not sure about what anymore, and I threatened him. Looking back, I see how stupid of an idea that was, but being a stupid kid, I didn't have that foresight. He, of course, called the police and had me admitted into a psychiatric behavior facility very shortly after because he thought I was an unstable kid who needed to learn proper respect. I stayed in that facility for a total of 7 months, and I don't know if you've ever had experience with a place like that, but I can say to avoid it at all costs. Michael had all contact with family cut, so I had no one to talk to for 7 months except for the staff who didn't give a crap and the other residents who weren't the best people to be around in general. Eventually, it was decided that going back with them wasn't an option, so my mom eventually gave up custody of me and had me placed into foster care after I was discharged. Luckily, the home I was put in was with a very caring family who helped me get past a lot of those lingering issues that came from the whole ordeal. And since then, I've been able to make my own for myself, and I'm currently in university thanks to help from my foster family. However, my mom and stepdad are still married, and according to my grandma, he's still just as much of a jerk. Hopefully, mom will get some sense and leave him, but for now, it seems like she's unwilling. Have you or anyone you know ever had a step-parent treat you horribly? If so, what did you do about it? Please let us know. This isn't your pizza, ma'am. In our area, there are no zoning laws, so we have a homeowners association. That way, a bar can't be built next door to your dream house. You pay an annual fee, and there are amenities like maybe a park and a pool. The homeowners association contracts with a company for lifeguarding and pool cleaning to avoid liability. Cast: we've got LG, my daughter, the lifeguard. We've got the other lifeguards working that day. We've got Karen. She's lived here forever and is getting you fired. We've got Karen's husband. We've got Junior, Karen's 4-year-old son, and we've got the innocent family. Setting: it's a beautiful summer morning in Pool Wonderland. Kids are laughing and splashing, and several lifeguards, including my daughter, sitting on her throne of peace and tranquility. Pool Wonderland has some new rules this summer. 1. No going down the water slide with anyone in your lap. And 2. No non-swimwear in the pool. If you happen to require a head covering of any kind, it must be swimwear material. This is an important detail for later. Scene 1. Karen: hubby, take Junior down the water slide. Karen's husband: sure thing. Lifeguard atop the slide: sorry sir, no kids riding in your lap. We do apologize. It's a new rule this year. Karen's husband: hey, no problem. Junior, disappointed, but not an unruly little thing. Karen: what the heck? That's rude. Junior begins to cry, as I assume this tone signals to Junior that once again, Mommy is gonna lose it. Karen's husband. It's no big deal. Karen, now addressing lifeguard. Why can't my son go down the water slide with his dad? Lifeguard explains the rules, and Karen doesn't like it, but complies in a huff. Scene 2. Innocent family shows up and orders pizza. They have a small family birthday party which was scheduled in advance with tables reserved. Many of the women are wearing what I understand to be Muslim swimwear, appropriate fabric for the pool, and covers much of them, including a hijab. Please don't jump on me if anything I said was ignorant or incorrect about the religion or the names I used. I'm merely trying to paint a picture. I mean no offense and hope none is taken, but polite corrections and constructive comments are always welcome. Innocent family decides to get in the pool. Karen also gets in the pool wearing a t-shirt and some shorts. Lifeguard. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you will have to get out of the pool. You can't wear that in the water. Karen. Excuse me? I pay for the privilege to swim here, and you cannot tell me what to wear. Lifeguard. It's a new rule this year. We can't allow people to wear cotton fibers in the water because it messes up the plumbing. Karen. What about them? She says, disgustedly referring to the ladies in the innocent family. If I have to get out, so do they. Lifeguard, now realizing what kind of person she's dealing with. Ma'am, they are wearing swimwear. You are not. We'll see about that. At this point, Karen is now being told by the lifeguard supervisor on duty the same thing. Nice try, Karen. Scene 3. Pizza arrives. There are 4, and drinks and breadsticks. Karen gets up and takes the pizza, which was paid for already, I imagine as no money changed in hands, not even for a tip. Karen juggles all this to her table and sticks her legs in the water and the side of the pool. Another pizza arrives, and the innocent family is approached by a lifeguard as they were expecting a delivery. Innocent family says, no, that isn't ours. We ordered 4 pizzas and drinks and breadsticks from not that pizza place. Lifeguard looks around and sees 4 pizzas and drinks and breadsticks on Karen's table. Lifeguard tells innocent family, I bet I know who this belongs to. Let me help you. She's thrilled after Karen has been such a nasty jerk. She didn't even say anything. Lifeguard walked to the table, set the pizza down, and helped the innocent family carry the 4 pizzas and drinks and breadsticks. Karen, excuse me, where do you think you're going with our food? Lifeguard, this pizza isn't your pizza, ma'am. She has the order on her phone matching the pizza place and this order. Your pizza was delivered a moment ago and on your table. Karen glances back in confusion, covering her embarrassment. It wasn't even the same delivery place. With pure rage now, yelling at Lifeguard and demanding the police be called. Lifeguard, why would you call the police? You have been harassing me all day, and I know you've been staring at us. I have lived here for years, and I'm going to the HOA board to have you fired. Lifeguard laughs nervously and turns and walks back to her stand. My daughter has bad anxiety, and for years, she's perfected a stonewall exterior where you think she doesn't care, but she will cry later, because she's human. Karen trailing behind her and yelling now. Karen proceeds to use her phone camera to video my daughter, hoping to catch her doing what? I don't even know. She's literally paid to watch and scan patrons of the pool. That's most of your dang job as a lifeguard. By the end of the day, the police have been called because Karen insisted the staff was out of line. Karen's disruptive behavior has actually bothered other patrons, mostly the innocent family, as ugly comments about swimwear were overheard and made them uncomfortable. It was following guards and taking cell phone video that actually got Karen and her family kicked out. Not to mention, it's ludicrous to be distracting a first responder from their job. Karen did not return to the pool for the remainder of the summer. Not because she was banned. Hopefully, she went home and looked in the mirror and was too embarrassed by her behavior. Speaking of pools, have you been swimming yet? And if not, are you planning on going soon? Please let us know. The best thing about pools is that you don't have to get out to use the bathroom. Is complaintement a word? I manage a running specialty store. Our return policy is pretty standard. Within 30 days unworn, all sale items final sale. But I basically always give store credit to customers who want to return a sale item, even though strictly speaking that's against the rules. That's still not good enough for some people. This particular lady We'll call her PA, short for police adjacent, for reasons that will become clear, comes in one day and demands to speak with the manager. Always a good sign. She tells me that the last pair of shoes we sold her were way too big and completely wrong for her feet, that my staff member lied to her, and that she wants a full refund. She's carrying neither shoes nor a receipt. I ask PA if she has a receipt with her, and she says of course not, as she bought them several months ago and has long since thrown out the receipt. I explain that our return policy is 30 days. She says we have injured her with our poor advice and we should refund her, or we should replace the shoes with something better. I ask what model she purchased, and when she tells me, I think, well geez, that's a regular price shoe that we will stock, so if they're unworn, I'll do an exchange, and or give her store credit just to get rid of her. Note that we make clear to customers that unworn actually means no visible wear, so it's totally fine to wear them around your house for a bit to make sure they're good. I ask her if she's worn the shoes outside, and she looks at me like I'm an idiot. Of course she's worn them outside. How else would she know if they work for her? I explain, again, our return policy and say that I'm sorry, but as it's been more than 30 days and she's worn them outside, there's nothing I can do. Her anger has been simmering since she walked in the store, and now it's begun a cascading nuclear meltdown. She starts yelling at me, first telling me that my staff member lied to her that a particular model of shoe didn't come in a specific variant. We carry that model, but not the variant. So I explain with as straight a face as I can muster that while my staff are experts in the shoes we carry, that they can't possibly know everything about every shoe on the market. Then repeatedly saying that her sister is a cop and she's going to be telling said sister about her treatment by our store. I think this was supposed to be a threat, but it was such a complete non sequitur that I again had to struggle not to laugh. Somewhere in this process, I look up her purchase in the computer and find not only did she buy these shoes 5 months ago, not the 1 or 2 she claimed. They are not the current models she claimed and were in fact last year's, which were on sale. She bought them during one of our biannual blowout sales, which are the only times we enforce the all sale items are final sale rule. We put signs up and mention it to all customers before they pay. She still hasn't actually produced the shoes she wants to return. We have exactly 1 till in the store, and at this point, I have other customers wanting to pay. I offer to have my area manager give her a call, but she refuses to leave her contact information and instead wants his. Sorry ma'am, we don't give that information out, was apparently the incorrect answer. She mentions her sister is the cop again. The waiting customers are getting fidgety and uncomfortable, completely reasonable, and the staff member, we'll call her SM for store mom, who had helped them, it's just us 2 working that day, comes over to see what's going on. Store mom is in her 50s, has been working here longer than anyone else, and is very protective of those of us who are on the younger side. I'm in my early 30s. Me being her manager has no bearing on these facts. PA sees store mom, immediately assumes she's more in charge, ignores me completely, and begins her complaint from the beginning. By the way, in case you were wondering, her sister is a cop. While disparaging me and my atrocious customer service, store mom has big mom vibes and is usually extremely patient and kind, but I can see that PA is bringing out her mama bear side. I quickly let her know that I can handle it and send her away. I tell PA again that I unfortunately cannot return her, as yet unseen, shoes, and that if she'd like to leave her information, our area manager will give her a call. She completely ignores me and restarts her complaint cycle. I interrupt her. Ma'am, I understand you're upset, but there's nothing I can do. If you don't want to leave your information, you can also try calling customer service. I can write the number down for you if you'd like. Right now, though, I'm going to have to ask you to move away from the counter as I have other customers waiting to pay. She leaves, yelling and grumbling. Cut to a week later, and my area manager calls me out of the blue to tell me that a customer has called customer service to complain about me. To my great delight, customer service was closed when she called, so she had to leave a voicemail. My area manager plays it for me. In short, PA has the same baseless complaints as she did in our store. Her sister is still a cop and will still hear about this, and she received horrible customer service from the apparent manager who was like 18 years old. and will never be shopping at any of our stores again unless they fix this problem for her. The manager was like 18 years old. I'm in my early 30s. I'd like to thank my good genes and my skincare routine for this great honor. Anyways, we didn't do the return. She never came back to our store, and when I'm feeling down about how I look, I stand in front of the mirror and quote her, and it never fails to give me a confidence boost. Oh yeah, and did I mention her sister is a police officer? Have you ever tried to return something but found out you couldn't? If so, what did you do about it? Please let us know. I've been through this too many times to count, and I've reported more managers to corporate than I can remember. Karen, I'm stressed and can't help you with your photos. We've got Karen, we've got me, and we've got my girlfriend. Everything started with my girlfriend and me rushing into a decoration store and afterwards to a famous store, known for mostly hygienic stuff, shampoo, lotion, etc., to get a little present for a friend. As a side note, everything takes place in Germany. Because of what's going on, we're only allowed to go into the market with masks. So we went inside the hygienic store after waiting 10 minutes to get a card and went straight to the photo printer. Of course, all three of them were occupied. After again 10 minutes and running short on time, we had around 15 minutes left. We could print our photos. Sadly, the first machine had some kind of problem with the photos, so we changed to another one, which had the same problem. So third time's the charm, and the last machine was good. My girlfriend and me stood there and minded our own business to get everything settled fast until one family stood near us with a kid who was about 4 to 6, strapped with some kind of blanket to the back of the mother. The kid was screaming so loud and the parents just ignored it, but everyone around them was visibly annoyed. Girlfriend started to get a headache because of it. Girlfriend, I can't wait here. My ears are gonna explode soon. Can I go away and get some tights? Me, sure, I'm gonna handle all the photos here. This was probably some kind of signal for Karen. As soon as girlfriend went to get her stuff, she started to whisper something. Karen, what kind of photos? Where is it? How? She was standing alone there and talking to herself. Nothing that special. I do the same thing sometimes. Then she started to talk louder, and me doing my stuff and clearly not minding her was the trigger. She stepped forward to me and said, I know you heard me. Help me here. Me, I'm sorry. Could you wait a bit? How long should I wait? I just want to print out my photos, and I can't connect my phone to that stupid machine. Me, looking at her machine, seeing that she hasn't even pressed the button and was still on the home screen. Me, you have to press here and then on photos, and afterward just click on mobile and connect it through cable. After that, I went back to my machine and started to print some of my photos. Karen started to get visibly angry at me and started to talk to me like I didn't understand her. I want to connect my phone. Do it. At this point, I'm getting annoyed. I'm looking at her screen again, and she didn't do anything again. There was just a window with two options, Android and Apple. I looked at her phone, pressed on Android, and the only thing she had to do were some clicks on her phone and connect the cable. Girlfriend returned. Girlfriend, I have everything. Are the photos done? Me, no, this lady asked for help, and I'm trying to. Girlfriend starts to talk in another language to me. Girlfriend, I think you didn't see it, but she didn't do anything. She only wants you to do all her stuff. I told Karen politely that I have to do my things now and that I'm in a hurry. She started to get furious, looked back at me and her machine for about 3 minutes. Then she left the machine with some big steps and visibly very angry. Afterwards, I checked the machine and she did nothing again. So girlfriend was totally right. We finished our photos and went to the checkout. Lesson of the story, don't be a Karen and don't let other people do your stuff because of your laziness. Has anyone ever tried to force you to do something for them? Please let us know. Sometimes we just need help. Pizza delivery to a rude, nasty, rich lady while I was 8 months pregnant. I worked at pizza place with a red hat logo as a driver while I was very, very pregnant. I had ordered a new work shirt as I had gotten way too big in the belly to have my shirt cover my belly bump. My watermelon-style belly was getting rather round due to all the frozen pizza I was getting from my managers that wanted to help me grow a baby better. Well, I was allowed to wear a plain black t-shirt as long as I had my name tag and hat on until a new shirt arrived the next day. I had gotten a delivery run in the very rich area of a town called Feather Sound. At first, I was really happy because this area was known for its great tips. And when you are a driver, you want all the tips you can get because you are not reimbursed for your fuel costs, except $1 a run minimum. And this was during a time where gas prices were the worst we had seen in like 8 years. These people had ordered a huge amount of food, 15 boxes of medium pizzas altogether. They had a sale on medium pizzas at the time. I walked up to the door first with no pizza to make sure I got the right address and to see if anyone would want to help grab so many boxes, as I was rather obviously fat with a baby. I get to the door and the almost typical Karen woman, minus the blonde hair and instead had black Dorothy Day-like hair, answering it almost yells at me before I can speak. "Who are you? Who invited you to the party?" Very rudely. I hesitate for a split second in a bit of shock and say, "Sorry ma'am, I had to order a new work shirt, but I'm your delivery driver, Liz, for your pizza order." She states to me rudely, but not as bad, "But where is the pizza then? And why are you pregnant?" She said that last word with some disgust in her voice. I said as nicely as I could at first, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry for any confusion, but since it was such a large order, I wanted to check to see if this was the right door, and to see if possibly someone could help me carry the 15 boxes up to your lovely home." It was a McMansion with a long walk from the curb to the front, and I had a small oil leak in my car and didn't want to even dare ask to use her pristine drive. And I am pregnant because, well, it happens when you get married. I said the last sentence a tiny bit condescending as she was scowling at me. She then started to go on a long diatribe of how she was not going to help me or have anyone help me, as, "Pregnant or not, it is your job to serve me," and how "nothing better be eaten or I will call and get you fired." I got really sick of her attitude and my feet were hurting from being on them all day in my current condition. So I just said, "No problem," and walked to her car while she was still talking. I know she was technically in the right, but it doesn't hurt to see if someone doesn't have a heart or possibly a spare kid to lend for a few minutes to get everything taken care of faster. I decided to be a bit of a jerk and stack all 15 pizzas and walked carefully to the door so I could get away from her as fast as I could. She was standing there, realizing I had enough of her, with her arms crossed, and stood away from the doorway and said, "Put them on the table inside, now." I realized that she was just being a jerk, as I saw many kids about 12 to 15 that could have helped out or at least gotten them from the door to the table, as there was a policy that we were to never enter a home due to risks of getting mugged or attacked. I didn't want to fight her at this point and wanted away from her, so as I passed her into the home, I said, "Ma'am, it is policy that we don't enter the house, but since this is just too many to try to take out of my arms, I will quickly do it." This turned out to be the best thing, because as I got to the table, her sweet husband saw me from the kitchen and he realized what was going on, as his wife had started complaining again about poor service and stating again that "your pregnant self better not have eaten any of my kids' food." Once I gave her the receipt and the total when I got back to the door, her husband got really red in the face, and as she started to hand me a check, which I could see that she had left me literally 5 cents as a tip, he grabbed it from her quietly, read the amount, and gave her a face that said, "Shut up, Karen." He then proceeded to hand me in cash the cost of the food and a $50 tip. She was silent as this happened and kept her head low, and one of the kids then said, "Wow, that is so much pizza, Mommy. Why did you have her take it all up? We could have helped, like last time we had a party and we helped that old man." This statement got her really bugged out eyes, as I just smiled and thanked them both for ordering with our pizza place. As the door shut, you could see that her husband was glaring at her, and her eyes were the size of dinner plates. As I got to the car, I could hear the faint stern voice of the husband, which sounded like he was laying into her. When I got back to the restaurant, apparently the husband had called to apologize to the nice pregnant woman for his horrible wife's treatment, as she always gets nasty to pregnant women, as she had to adopt all of her kids. What a nice husband, dude. I hope she learns not to be such a jerk to ladies just because they are with child and she is unable to birth a child. I do respect her for adopting at least more than one kid, not to mention adopting even one. I got some much needed baby items with that $50 just despite her rudeness. Speaking of pizza, what's your favorite place to get pizza from? please let us know. I could go for some Little Caesars right now. We'll get some later, Karen. By the way, hit us with those very special announcements. Join as a channel member today, or join our Patreon, and we'll give you a special shout out in our next video. And huge thank you to Pewter Nerd for leaving us our very first review on iTunes. Leave us a review on the Mr. Reddit podcast, and we'll give you a special shout out as well. And if you'd like us to make a special video for you, come visit us on Fiverr, link pinned in the comments below.